So here we are subtracting the fractions again, but the denominators match. Hey, that's pretty good. So this means that I can just right away, I can take these two fractions and I'll keep the denominator, right? So I'm still dealing in x minus sevenths, but I can take my numerators of crap. No, I'm going to wait to factor those. I see like I could factor something from the first part, but that's going to actually jack things up. So don't factor yet. So I got x squared plus 12x. And then again, we got that minus sign right there, right? So, okay, and then I'm subtracting from that second part, and I'm going to keep in parentheses 12x plus 49. Oh, yes. Try to remember the full part of the expression. Don't forget those x's like I just did. That would have jacked things up even worse. But I can do a better for than that. There we go. All right, now that we have that in the numerator, let's go ahead and distribute. Again, I'm showing the distribution. Not everyone needs it, but I'm going to show it. Okay, so -1 distributed into the parentheses. Again, I can just focus on that part, but -1 times 12x's would be -12x's, and then -1 times 49 would be -49. Everything else stays the same. Still got the x squared, and then the plus 12x, and then the denominator is still x minus 7, okay? Now, I think some of you, at least if you felt good about the factoring stuff, some of you, I think, notice what's happening here. In the numerator, since we did distribution, we're going to now combine any like terms that we have. I'm looking specifically at the 12x's in between. The problem with that is that those x's are going to zero out. Okay, so that means that I could just rewrite this numerator as x squared minus 49. All right, now this, some students, they stop here and they're like, hey, that's pretty good, x squared minus 49. Unfortunately, x squared and 49 are both perfect squares. So we have a difference of squares. So this is where, again, I can't emphasize how nice it is just to have all that garbage memorized. But it helps, right? So in the denominator, I've still got the x minus 7, but I have a difference of squares, right? So, of course, x squared would have just been an x. But the 49 is a 7 to the power of 2. Remember, this means that you always have subtraction and addition in here, but now it's minus 7 and plus 7. All right, and don't stop there, by the way. Okay, so that was factored. Remember, as soon as you factor, if you see anything that can be factored, then you should simplify anything that is factorable, such as an x minus 7 and an x minus 7. Hopefully you give yourself more space, by the way. But this simplifies finally into x. All I'm left with is x plus 7, and you could show it as a fraction like this, but really to make it fully simplified, you'd want to make that a phantom, divide by 1. And again, if you put parentheses around it, it's okay, but me being the math nerd that I am, I feel much better in my heart about not parentheses, but you can put them in there if you want.